meeting today. It's 9:30. And clerk, could you please call roll?
Yes, Hearing Officer Curtis, are you present this morning?
I am present.
All right, that completes the roll call.
Okay, so next on our agenda, it looks like we have the Pledge of Allegiance. So if everybody could please stand, face the flag, and repeat after me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Just start the day bad.
Okay, sorry to make you all stand again, but those of you that will be addressing the hearing officer this morning need to stand while you address your oath. And please raise your right arm. When I complete stating your oath, please state I do. You and each of you do solemnly affirm that the testimony you're about to give in the matters now pending before this hearing officer will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
Thank you. You can now be seated.
Okay, we're going to have a quick agenda review. This will see who's here and who's not here, and then we'll go through and see who's here and who wants to be continued and who actually wants to have their case heard today. And we'll get everybody in and out as quickly as possible. So, Brendan, you want to go through the agenda review?
Right. We're at item number 5, agenda review. The clerk of the board recommends approval of the agenda review by the hearing officer. The agenda review consists of the following agenda items. Item number 7, application number 14-10005, applicant Rufus Nash, denied for lack of appearance. Item numbers 8 through 9, application numbers 14-1008 and 14-1009, applicant McGrath RHD Partners, denied due to lack of appearance. Item number 12, application number 14-10025, applicant Amy Chen, denied due to lack of appearance. Item number 13, application number 14-10027, applicant Michael Singer, denied due to lack of appearance. Item number 15, application number 14-10089, applicant Lynn Abrams, denied due to lack of appearance. Item number 19, application number 14-10226, applicant Edie Sestano, denied due to lack of appearance. Item number 20, application number 14-10227, applicant Jose Montes, denied due to lack of appearance. Item number 24, application number 14-10251, applicant Gerard Bellart, denied due to lack of appearance. Item number 25, application number 14-10257, applicant Wright Excavation Incorporated, Scott Wright, denied due to lack of appearance. Item number 34, application number 14-10332, applicant Samuel J. Heller Trust, denied due to lack of appearance. And adding item number 33, application number 14-10329, applicant William Peralt, continued to April 7th, 2014, pending receipt of original stipulation. Item number 35, application number 14-10335, applicant Brooke Shin, denied due to lack of appearance. Item number 36, application number 14-10336, applicant Nicholas Croso, denied due to lack of appearance. Item number 38, application number 14-10352, applicant Darren Paul, denied due to lack of appearance. Item numbers 39 through 40, application number 14-10356 and 14-10357, applicant James Allen, denied due to lack of appearance. Item number 42, application number 14-10371, applicant Christine Schillinger, denied due to lack of appearance. Item number 44, application number 14-10383, applicant Jeff Appergan, denied due to lack of appearance. And that completes agenda review. The clerk of the board requests approval.
Okay, doke. Did anybody hear their name called in that little roll call? Yes, ma'am.
Under 45, is Irma Bushman?
I don't believe I called that one.
Okay, but you are here, right? Okay, just double checking. All right, so I'll go ahead and approve that motion to to approve the agenda review as stated. You got it?
Yep.
Okay. So I'm going to run through the rest of the items and see who's here, see who wants to have their case heard today, and see who wants to be continued. Is there anything special as far as...
Just that these people here will be the first hearing, their item number 41. But other than that, no, nothing special going on. We can go through the...
Did you want me to hear them?
No, let's get the continuances out of the way and
Okay.
we'll do their hearing.
Okay. So we'll go through each item real quickly here. Item number 6, that's application 1312369, Jesse Boykin.
That's me.
Hello. And are you ready to have did you want to have your case today?
Well, I was told that I couldn't because I didn't submit my paperwork in time. So
Okay.
I guess I felt that I was told that I have to request a continuance.
Okay. To the assessor?
Yeah, the assessor did not receive a confirmation of appearance, therefore we have not prepared a case.
Okay. So what we'll do is we'll continue that to a later time where the assessor knows that you'll be showing up. Okay?
So I'll get another piece of paper that's going to tell me when to.
We'll have a continuance. We'll give you a continuance date today, correct?
Correct. He'll also receive a official minute order recapping what happened today, but the date and time will be picked right now.
All right.
So we have the available April 7th, May 5th, June, and June 9th for new dates of hearing.
Okay, and so if anybody needs a continuance, those are the dates that we'll be continuing the next hearing officer to. So it's April 7th, May 5th, and June 9th. It's always a Tuesday, and it's always at 9:30. And usually it's always with me. So what would be a good date?
April 7th would be fine.
April 7th, is that okay for the assessor?
Yeah, that'd be fine with us. Mr. Boykin, you need to speak with Richard Denham, get his business card, and call him at a later date. He's got a lot of hearings going forward today, but you can make initial contact now.
Okay, I can go out there now?
Yeah.
Probably
Thank-
true of a couple of them, so yeah.
Right.
Just so
And-
everybody knows, you're more than welcome to sit through this hearing and get familiar with the process. We also have the videos online if you don't want to sit here, but no one's forced to leave today if they don't want to.
And I apologize. What was the date?
April 7th.
Right, okay. All right, so that is continued to April 7th. So the next item is item number 10. It's application 1410010, Mark Sussman.
No one has checked in for this item this morning. The clerk of the board would recommend denial due to lack of appearance.
Any word, any?
At Kent Meyer, Ventura County Assessor's Office. We were expecting him to show up today.
Okay, so we'll trail this, just in case he is stuck in the parking lot. Item number 11, application 1410024, Paul Larson.
Right here.
Hello. Are you prepared to go ahead today? You are, okay. And roughly how long is your presentation?
10 minutes.
Lovely. And to the assessor, are you
We're
prepared?
prepared to move forward. We anticipate 10 minutes.
Okay, great. So I'm going to run through the agenda, then you'll be the first hearing that we'll have. All right, so just hang tight. Next one is item number 14, application 1410060, John Maynard.
Yes.
Hello. Are you ready to go ahead today?
Yes.
Okay, and how long roughly is your presentation?
Maybe 10 minutes at the most.
Okay, another 10 minutes to the assessor.
The assessor has not received any data on this, so we're not prepared to move forward.
Okay. Were
He
you,
needs to speak with Arnold Goldberg, or Greenberg, I mean? Greenberg.
I already spoke to him last week.
Okay. So he can give you the information that you need to provide to us so we can prepare a hearing.
Can I ask you a question, please?
sure.
When you do your presentation, is there a determination made at this meeting or in subsequent mailing or whatever?
It will be today,
It'll be
yes.
at the meeting.
It should be at the meeting, right? So you're prepared to go ahead, but the assessor wasn't, so the assessor needs to, you're asking for continuance? then?
Correct.
Okay. So for whatever reason, they are not prepared, so they're asking for continuance. And what would be a good continuance date?
I guess in May.
May 5th?
Yeah.
Okay. So probably it's best between now and May 5th to get the assessor any and all information that they're requesting, so both people, both you and he, can understand what the valuation issue is.
Okay, yeah, because when I talked to them last week, the information they requested, they acknowledged already having it.
Sometimes if they have been millions of cases, if they get the data and they don't have it in enough time, they can't, do evaluation on it. All right, so you can go, and then, so we'll continue this to May 5th, and you can also talk to Mr. Denham too, if necessary.
He needs Mr. Greenberg.
Mr. Greenberg, okay. Was that a,
I gave him his card.
okay. Okie dokie, so the next item is item 16, and it's application 1410218. Ricardo, last name is Garciduenas.
No one has checked in for this item this morning. The clerk of the board would recommend denial due to lack of appearance.
To the assessor, were you expecting him, or?
We weren't sure if he was going to come or not.
Okay, so we'll just trail him with the other person. Next item is item number, I believe it's item 17. It's application 1410220, Susan Hall.
No one has checked in for this item this morning. So since I guess we should just trail it since we're trailing those for now.
Okay. Next.
I could comment, she gave me a verbal withdrawal, but we got no paperwork from her.
Okay, so
All right, so I'll just deny due to lack of appearance for her.
okay.
She can always come back and. All right, so that leads us to item 18, application 1410223, Sydney Woolner. Hello. Are you Sydney?
I am.
Hi, Sydney. Okay, are you prepared to go ahead today?
I am.
All right, and to the assessor, are you prepared?
The assessor is prepared to move ahead.
Okay, so you'll be the second case that we're going to hear, so just hang tight and we'll get you as quickly as possible.
Thank you.
Next item is item number 21. It's application 1410231, Ray Sprinkling. Is Ray here?
No one has checked in for this item this morning.
Okay, to the assessor, any?
We had sent him some letters. We weren't sure if he was going to come or not.
Okay. So we'll just go ahead and deny due to lack of appearance for Mr. Sprinkling. Okay. Next item is item 22. It's application 1410232, James Bruce.
This applicant called me stating they were going to be coming in to request a continuance because they did not turn in their confirmation paperwork timely. They have not checked in this morning, so we could either deny this for lack of appearance or trail it.
All right, I'll just go ahead and trail it for right now. So next one is item 23. It's application 1410248, Just for Dreamers Incorporated. Agent is Douglas Cooper.
No one has checked in for this item this morning, but the clerk of the board would recommend denial due to lack of appearance.
I think we provided you with a late stipulation on this one, didn't we?
I don't have any note of it. Let me check my electronic records. 102.
I'm not finding it.
I don't have anything. I don't recall this coming up.
I'd like to table this one so we can check and see if we have a stipulation for it.
Okay, I'll trail it for right now. So next one is items 26 and 27, applications 1410268 and 10269. Ludwicus Vergeer, Bergeer. Hello. All right, are you prepared to move ahead today?
No, I'm not. I would like to get a continuation on April 7th.
April 7th. Any comments from the assessor?
Yes, we have not received any data yet. I've got his 441D letters here. If you'd like to take those, I don't know if you received them or not.
Excuse me, what letter?
We have requests for information letters. We sent those. You do have them.
Can I follow up on that letter within 10 days? Let's say by March 20?
Okay.
If I have the information on your desk by March 20, would that give you enough time to prepare?
No, we prefer May 5th if that's the case.
Well, he'll get it to you by March 20th, and then we'll postpone it to May 5th.
Yes, but he was asking for April 7th.
Oh, you were?
I would rather have that and take care of it as soon as possible.
The assessor needs about 30 days to analyze the data. Or,
Sometimes it's faster, but we prefer to have the full 30 days, so we prefer to continue to May 5th.
Okay, well, May 5th, I can make it, so that moves us to June 9, I guess.
Okay, that'd be fine too.
June 9?
Continue with June 9.
Okay.
And then I'll follow up on the paperwork with the assessor.
Sometimes it takes time, for both sides to figure out what the value is, so we want to make sure that you get a fair valuation hearing.
Sure. Maybe the assessor wants to make another, I mean, if you guys prepare it faster, then I can always come in on April 7th.
If we prepare it faster and we can come to a settlement ahead of time, you won't even show up. We'll actually get this all done before you even have to come again.
Right.
Have you spoken to Arnold Greenberg?
Not that I recall.
If you do come to a settlement, yes, you won't be coming in. If you don't, then you'll be coming back.
He's the person you need to talk to. He's
Okay.
the appraiser assigned to this case.
Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, so it looks like we're postponing it till June 9th, right?
Yes.
So if you don't come up with a settlement, we'll see you back at June 9th.
Look forward to that time.
Lovely. All right. Have a nice day.
Thank
So-
you very much.
Thank you. So that's June 9th. Next item is 28 and 29, applications 1410286 and 287, Orbic Helicopters Sales and Service. Hello. Okay, are you prepared to move ahead?
I was told from the assessor's office that they need more time,
Okay.
so we'd like to postpone it to April 7th.
April 7th, is that true?
We would like June 9th on this one also.
June?
Yes.
June 9th.
Your Orbic helicopters, right?
Yes,
And did you receive your 441 request?
I think we did.
So
Yeah.
probably deals with helicopters, I'm assuming, right?
Both cases.
So that's
I think we did. Okay.
that's Arnold's phone number. We received the data late.
June.
June 9th, so we'll see you back in June 9th.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
That's good. So June 9th. Next item is item number 30. It's application 1410314. First name is SEONG, last name is BAE. Hello. Are you prepared to move ahead today?
Yes.
You are?
Yeah.
Okay. And to the assessor, are you?
We're prepared to move ahead today.
Okay. And to the applicant, roughly how long do you think your presentation will be?
10 minutes.
10 minutes. And to the assessor, probably the same, I'm guessing.
We estimate
right?
about 10 minutes.
Lovely. So you'll be the third one that we'll hear today? So just hang tight. Next one is item 31. It's application 1410317 Golden Properties. Mark Golden.
No one has checked in for this item this morning. The clerk of the board would recommend denial due to lack of appearance.
Okay. Any comment from the assessor?
Yes, I'd like to table this one also. I thought we had a preliminary stip on this one.
Let me check real quick.
Okay. So we'll check on that later. Figure out who's here and who's not. Item number 32, application 1410318, Winston. Last name is Merchan.
Yeah.
Oh, good morning.
We're ready, but he says that they didn't receive the confirmation papers.
Okay.
We're ready if you want.
This is for OCON Insurance Agency?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Winston.
To the assessor?
I'm sorry, which number was this one? Oh,
Sorry
I got
for
it.
moving ahead.
Item
so quickly
32?
here. Yeah.
No, we did not receive a confirmation of appearance, therefore we have not prepared a case for today.
Okay, so they would like to hear your case, but they just didn't know you were showing
Okay,
up.
that's fine. May 5th?
May 5th?
Yes.
May 5th?
Yes.
That'd be
And-
fine.
Okay. Did you need anything from the applicant? Or you have everything?
Well, I don't think we've had any data yet. Yeah, we have not received any data from the applicant.
Okay, so they'll need to get
Mr.
some...
Greenberg is the appraiser assigned to your case. So just contact him, please.
I can contact him today, right now, or?
You can contact him anytime.
Okay, thank you.
I'm not Mr. Grimm. He might be downstairs.
Oh, you might be.
It's best to check with, see if you can talk to him today since you're here.
Sure.
And if he's not busy.
Okay, thank you, sir.
If not, then we'll see you back on May 5th.
Sure, okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. So that's May 5th.
Alrighty.
Brendan.
Got it.
Okay, scooting ahead to item 34. It's application 14-10332. Heller Samuel J. Trust.
That was on agenda review, denied due to lack of appearance.
Oh,
So
sorry.
if my records are correct, we're on item 37 now.
Correct. And that's application 14-10345. Ji Young Chung. Hello.
I don't think, were you here to be sworn in at the beginning?
No, I talked to you.
Okay,
Yeah.
if you can stand and raise your right arm real quick. Do you solemnly affirm that the testimony you're about to give in the matter now pending before the hearing officer will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I have a note that this applicant will be requesting a rescheduling.
So you would like to reschedule today?
Yes, please.
Okay. These are the dates that you can reschedule to.
April 7th.
April 7th, okay, and to the assessor, is that acceptable?
That's acceptable. You'll need to speak to Richard Denham.
It's me. So I can dismiss.
You're dismissed, thank you so much. We'll see you back on April 7th unless you, come to an agreement with the assessor's department.
Okay.
But make sure you get the card from Mr. Denham.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Okey-doke, scooting ahead to item 41, application 14-10367, Rose Kiem.
Yes, I'm here.
Hello. And are you prepared to go ahead today?
I'm ready.
You are. How long will your presentation take?
Between 10 and 20 minutes. It's a little bit more confusing, but I'll try to keep it brief.
Very nice. And to the assessor?
We're prepared to move forward. We anticipate about 10 minutes.
Okay. You'll be the fourth one that we'll be hearing?
Actually, I requested the first one.
First one then?
Right, because of the ADA situation, they'll be the first hearing this morning.
Okay, so it'll be the first one then.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next item is item 43. It's application 14-10380. Last name is Nariderjeet. First name is Singh.
Just the other way around.
Ah, sorry.
Okay.
I don't believe you were here at the beginning either. Please stand and raise your right arm. You solemnly affirm the testimony you're about to give in the matters now pending before this hearing officer will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
Sorry about that. Are you prepared to move ahead today? Okay. And how long do you think your presentation will be? Okay, and to the assessor?
We're prepared to move forward. We anticipate about 10 minutes.
About 10 minutes. Okay. Let's see.
I believe we're at 45 now.
Okay. So just hang tight and you'll be after someone here.
We can recap in a minute. And
Sure.
And I'll let you know who's going forward.
Last one, it looks like, is item 45, application 14-10415, Irma Guzman. There you are. Are you prepared to go ahead today?
Yes, actually, I sent this post already.
Yes?
And I don't know, I came and I gave it to the person,
Yeah?
and they said that they didn't get it, so.
Gotcha. Let me check with the assessor to the assessor.
Our records show that we did not receive a confirmation of appearance, so no case has been prepared.
So yeah, they didn't know you were coming today. They didn't prepare a case. So we'll have to reschedule it to a future date so the assessor will know. April 7th? Okay. And probably we'll reschedule it to that date. In the interim, what I would do is talk to Mr. Denham too.
Actually, she needs to speak to Arnold Greenberg.
Oh,
Arnold Greenberg.
perfect.
And
I've got a business card for you.
there you go. And again, maybe talk to him as much as you can between now and April 7th. And as far as what he needs and any questions you might have for him.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. Okay, doke. So what we'll do now is have our hearings. Everybody can watch anybody else's hearings to get any, information that they want. What I'll do is, since we do have a number of hearings, what I'm going to do is hear the hearing, and then I'm going to come to my decision after the last hearing. So again, if you want to stay around for that, that's fine. If not, you can call the clerk's office in a few hours to find out what my decision has been. Okay? That's just so sometimes I have to look at the data that all of you present and analyze it a little bit more, and we'll just do it that way. Okay? So,
would we like to revisit the trailed items, and that way we don't have to think about them later?
Actually,
I was able to verify we have steps on those too.
On both of
so-
them?
Yes. So, do you want to go back to the trailed items now, or do you want to wait a few more hours? I just don't want to. I'll mark them. I just
what
don't
time is it
wanna-
now?
Huh?
What time is it now? It's 10?
10, yes.
Yeah, let's go back to the trailed items just to knock
Okay.
those out.
First one we trailed is item number 10.
So I'll deny that due to lack of appearance.
Right.
Next one is 16.
Nothing has changed in the status of this one, so the clerk would recommend denial due to lack of appearance.
Okay. I'll deny that. Are we to 16?
Yes.
And then the next one after 16 is 22, James Bruce.
Yes. The clerk of the board would recommend denial due to lack of appearance on this one.
Okay, I'll approve that. Next one is 23, which is just for Dreamers.
Yes, clerk of the board recommend continue pending receipt of original stipulation to April 7th, 2015.
Okay, I'll approve that. And then the last one, I believe, was Golden Properties, Mark Golden, item 31.
Clerk of the board would recommend continue pending receipt of original stipulation to April 7th, 2014.
Okay, and I'll approve that. That was all the items, I believe.
Correct. So, if we want to I'll just recap. We have first Rose Time case going forward. Second, Paul Larson.
Third, Sydney.
Third, Sidney Wilner. Fourth,
Yeah.
Song Bay. And fifth is Nandri Senj. I believe, does that cover everybody here?
So we have 5 hearings, and we'll get these done as quickly as possible. Okay, so the first item I'm first hearing is Rose Kim. Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, so what we'll do, we will first, I'm going to get a brief overview from the assessor,
Okay.
and then we'll have, each side will give a presentation. You'll have time to ask the assessor questions. He'll have time to ask you questions.
All right.
I'll have time to ask both of you questions. I'll close the hearing, and then again, what I'll do is hear all of the hearings, and then after that, I'm going to look at the data, come up with my decision, and you'll contact the assessor the clerk with regards to my decision.
All right.
Okay?
Thank you. Rick Denham, Ventura County Assessor's Office. This is a decline in value appeal. It is obviously as of 1/1/14. It's a single-family residence in the city of Simi Valley. The current factored base year is 406.
No, we have burden.
Oh, I'm sorry, and we do have burden of proof falls on the assessor's office. I'm sorry. I should
Okay.
mention that first. The factored base year value is $406,112. That number was derived by Prop 13. This roll value was also $406,112, once again derived by Prop 13. And obviously, the assessor's office is recommending $406,112, which is under the law under Prop 13. At the time of the application, the applicant felt their property was worth $290,000. So really, to sum up this case, this property is under Prop 13, and under California law, the assessor's office is required to either take the Prop 13 value or the current market value. And in this case, it is the assessor's office opinion that the Prop 13 value is the proper value. to have, and that obviously market value might be more. Okay, and I have, let me give this to everybody. Here's a, oh, wait a minute, you have a special copy? Did you give
I
her
just
already?
gave it to her.
Good, good.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. A little confusion there.
Copy for me? If not, I can always get it from you later.
Yeah. Absolutely. In this package are 3 comparable sales. That's on this page here. For the taxpayer, it's about the second or third page. The 3 comparable sales are all located within the subject track. They're all within 0.2 of a mile of the subject. This is a tract neighborhood, and these are similar homes built at the same time. Most of the adjustments, quite frankly, are minor in nature due to size, one case of spa, that kind of thing. Nothing really too relevant. Here's a picture of where the comps are. There's the subject, and then 3 comparables. From a standpoint of, we're using the crude form, they obviously know where they live. This is south of the 118 freeway, roughly off of the Erringer, right in here.
Okay.
Okay. And I used a bigger graph. So, what we call Eastern Simi Valley, Central to Eastern.
Lovely.
Okay. Anyway, at the time of the application, the applicant said that their house was in less than good condition, and they invited us to take pictures. So you see a number of pictures of the subject property. Also, I would point out this particular picture is an easement, of which I believe we're going to address the easement. Yeah, but that's the picture of it. The rest is inside, and these are all the subject property, is what you're seeing.
Okay.
And then there's documents concerning the easement behind it. Based on our experience and looking at the home and the pictures that you see, from the assessor's office standpoint, and we determined the house appears to be average for the neighborhood. And so that was our conclusion. Quite frankly, looked okay. It's the only way I could describe it. The 3 comparables were picked for 2 reasons. They happen to have been attested to as being average at time of purchase by the buyers, which is symbolized by the A under condition that was given to us by the buyers, and also other anecdotal evidence. And also the 3 comparables we used were the 3 closest to lien date of 1/1/14. So that's how the comps got picked, strictly. So that sort of sums up our case. If you notice, the sales prices are $445, $440, and $465, which is all higher than the $406 and change that the current assessment is under Prop 13. And because of those current comps for 1/1/14, we felt that her Prop 13 value, their Prop 13 value, seemed to be proper. And so the assessor's office was recommending a sustain of the Prop 13 value based on these considerations. Now, there is some easement questions brought up by the taxpayer, and Mr. Myers is going to address those as he looked into it.
The last few pages of the presentation is a recorded easement that was established, I believe, 2006 by the property owners. It allows access to a parcel that's behind their home. It basically covers an easement that existed when they bought the property. It's slightly larger, not much, but Edison also has the same easement over their property.
So you're talking about this easement? From here to here? Or that to that?
The one right to left. If you notice from east to west.
Here and here?
Yes, that's the easement. The shaded area is the easement that was recorded. But underlying that easement is Edison easement that pre-existed that easement.
Okay.
And is still in force today. On the very last page, I did some calculations to make an estimate of the easement size, roughly 4,000 square feet, plus or minus. Most of the comparables that we are using, once you subtract that from their gross lot area, come out to be about the same size as their net lot area.
And that's why no adjustment was made for lot size.
Very nice.
That's all I have.
Okay.
That's us.
That's their presentation. And do you have any, before you start your presentation, did you have any questions to the assessor regarding their presentation?
No, I have an answer to it, but I don't have any questions about it. This might be some of the things I already sent you, but there's some other things too.
Okay, so we'll go into your presentation now.
Okay, addressing his where there's comparables in the area.
Yes.
For one thing, mostly when people have their houses up for sale, they have upgrades, and I have listed here 3 houses that sold closely to ours. That's in folder. You don't have to read it all now, but you can see they have dual pane windows, they have remodeled the kitchens, they have remodeled the bathrooms, they have swimming pools. You know, you can't just say because it's in the neighborhood. Our house has had absolutely nothing added to it since it was built. It's the same original kitchen, bathrooms. The carpeting needs to be replaced. We have a very slippery ceramic tile floor throughout the kitchen and the dining area, which is, we can't even invite people to the house because it gets slippery when it's wet. But the main thing is that easement, because we had this house for sale a few years ago, and people don't want that easement. That is a nuisance, and they don't want it. We wanted it when we bought it because it was a very unusual circumstance. My son-in-law was buying the property behind us at the same time, called me up and said, could I buy this property, because he wanted to get an easement on this property. He knew we were looking for a house. And I did. We bought it together. It was one of those deals where if this one didn't go through, then that one didn't get through. If that one didn't go through, then that. They had to go together because he had to have that easement or he wasn't going to buy the property. The lady who bought this house from set the prices. She said $290,000 for the house, $47,000 for the easement. Because this property was for sale at the same time as hers, she knew that people would want to buy her house, so she upped it. So I have here my son-in-law. This is Dave's check. He bought the easement from me, $47,000. I bought the easement from her. I mean, I bought the property from her. There was no easement done by a surveyor yet, but I bought the property from her knowing we could put an easement on it. But that's in your book there. This is Dave's check, and he's got right on there, reference, lot split. He was buying the easement at the same time. And I have the closing statement in there too, where you can see this check was made out to me, so I put it in my bank account, and then I got a certified check to go to the escrow company, and I added $9,000 something or other to it because I owed that money at that time from buying the house. So I put the two together, and on the closing statement you'll see it's $49,000. Then later on, the second check they gave me, they made it out to All Valley Escrow, so it went straight to them. I have been telling ever since, like a year later, I've been coming down here telling them, you are charging me property tax on an easement. You can't do that. They, at the day that this thing closed, they immediately upgraded my property to $337,000 from $223,000. They didn't question that. They didn't say this house went up in value 50%. Didn't call me up and say, hey, what happened here? How come that went up in value? Because they've got the easement in there that they're charging property tax on. Now, my son-in-law was unable to build on that property because he got transferred in his company that he works for down to Los Angeles Airport, and he wasn't going to make the commute. So he sold that property. He sold it for what he paid for the property. He added in what he paid for the easement, and maybe the salesman commission or whatever. But now he sold it to the man who bought the property from him. So you're collecting $47,000 on an easement on my property. You're collecting $47,000 on an easement on the big property. You're collecting $94,000 on one easement on two properties. See, he had this done. He would have put his easement in a few days or a month or so after, because after all the sales went through, he got Hubble and Pilarski Engineering. They did the survey or whatever they had to do. They wrote up the easement, and he recorded it. I'm not sure what day he recorded it, but it was in, I'd say, a few months of the purchase of the property. And when he sold the property to the other man, I had been telling Dave all along, the one he got, I didn't think it was wide enough at the road because the driveway is supposed to be a certain width. So I went ahead and I paid for another survey, and I spread the thing farther along so it would be proper for a driveway, and I sent it to the new man who bought it, and he went ahead and recorded it. That was the reason for the second one, because I read in the instructions, and I think it had to be like 35 feet or something. What Dave had was a little bit short, and just to be on the safe side, I had another one done. Now, also, this one I told you about, that's people always have upgrades, gorgeous, delicious, beautiful upgrade when they sell a house. And there's 3 houses on a street that I'm not going to compare it to my house as far as the price goes. I'm just comparing those houses to each other. There is a street near us, maybe a half a mile away, called Hudspeth Street. Everybody on that street that has a odd number address gets around $100,000 more for their house than those with an even address. Mm-hmm. Because on that side of the street, there's a view. There's a beautiful view with city lights. There's a backyard with all flat and usable. But on the other side of the street, no view, because the houses across the street from them are blocking, and half of their yard is a steep hillside. So there were 3 sales in 2013. All houses are the identical floor plan. The one without the view sold for $307,500, and the 2 with the view, $429 and $420. So there are things that you just don't anticipate. When people come to see my house and they see that dirt driveway and they understand about the easement going to the place in back, they don't want to buy it unless it's cheap.
The small backyard too.
Yes, that's it. You have the pictures.
The mountain comes like this. How many feet from our back?
Yeah, well, they have the pictures of it. I took pictures of the backyard. And you'll also see there I have a second nuisance, and that's that flat roof. Why the zoning, or when they built the house, why they ever allowed that flat roof? Flat roofs always leak. None of the other houses in that neighborhood has a flat roof. People come to see my house and buy, oh, a flat roof, they always leak. They're right, they do. I had a new roof put on that house 9 years ago. It still leaks. The guys keep coming back and they patch it up here and they patch it up there. I got watermarks on the ceilings in my bedrooms. Flat roofs leak. Nobody wants a house with a flat roof.
And trucks, now aren't they building up there now? Something that trucks keep going up there.
Well, it doesn't matter, but what bothers people the most is if it leaks. The flat roofs always leak. And I mean, I did not get the cheapest roof. I got a really good roof from a well-recommended roofer. No good. And we never walk on that roof, ever.
Okay. Anything else?
Well, let's see. I think that does it all. Because I told you about the fact that you're collecting $47,000 easement on 2 properties at the same time.
I'm not collecting anything at the assessor.
You're not collecting?
We don't
No,
collect.
I don't collect.
We don't either.
Okay, and they don't. Okay, anything else?
Well, no, that's just it. I know if I sold my house, and I would never get $400,000 for it, because the house next door to me and over on the cul-de-sac, they're 1,700 square feet, and they're selling for like around $420. And they are upgrades. The house next door to me sold for $420 a couple of years ago, and it has all kinds of upgrades in it. So it's, you know, I go through this every year with them. The last 2 years, they allowed it. They dropped the assessment down to $340, and they said, "But that's only good for 1 year. You got to come back next year." So I did, and the next year they dropped it again. And I guess I'm going to have to sell that house. And when it finally sells for $290 or $325, that's right. There was another house on the street that sold for $335, I think it was, and that was last year's assessment. But they assessed my house at that time for like $402,000, and a house down the street from here it is. It sold for $335,000. No easement. It's got a whole usable yard. No hill in the backyard.
Excuse me, can I see that?
Sure.
We don't have dates on your sales.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway,
Let's just give her,
I'm
let her
saying,
do her presentation.
I'm sorry.
yes, I'm just saying that this year they added on to the easement, to the assessment from last year.
I
So I'm
understand.
saying last year it wasn't right. They assessed it at $402,000, whereas in that same month, this house sold down the street from me for $335, and they have a 3-car garage. Their property is all flat and usable, no flat roof, no dirt driveway easement. You can hear that one.
Thank you.
Oh, and their yard, yeah, I'll show you their yard. I put it on this one. This is the yard. The house is sold for $335,000. There's my yard, taking away the easement and taking away the steep hill.
Okay.
You can have this if you can't find it. I have here identical what I gave all of you.
Gotcha.
See,
Okay.
so they assessed me $402,000 last year. They dropped it to $340, but this year they went ahead and upped it to $406, putting I guess the inflation value or whatever on top of what they did last year. And in fact, the letter that they sent me about the assessment, they said, your base year value. Well, the base year value was wrong, because I paid $290,000 for that house. I bought the house for $337, and I immediately sold the easement to my son-in-law for $47,000. But they still got me for $337. And they've got the easement on his property, and you cannot hit property taxes on an easement.
Okay.
And it's all in that blue folder. Everything I have here is in here.
Okay.
You don't have to read every single word on every single page. I've highlighted a lot of things just to show you the pertinent things.
Okay. So let me ask the assessor if he has any questions of your presentation.
Sure.
Okay.
You're good.
We may need a recess because I don't know if we can verify the dates on some of these sales. Okay. I guess I know you spoke of the easement transactions, and that took place in 2002, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that was an event that took place in 2002?
Yeah, but that was the base year value, which you have always used ever since.
I understand that.
Everything started.
I understand that.
You're
The second
using it this
question.
year.
The second question is, you sold the easement to your son-in-law, correct?
I did.
It was an inter-family transaction based upon what the two of you decided,
Well,
correct?
not really, because he actually made out the 2 checks and paid them to the lady at the time the whole thing went through.
But it was part of the whole 331 transaction, correct?
Yeah, but he didn't buy it from me. She set the price, the lady selling the property.
I understand.
And he made out the 2 checks, $40,000 and $7,000, and it went through the escrow.
Correct.
And she got the money.
In 2002?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay. Your comparable sales, I noticed the one you were referring to, that's this one on Muirfield on your street sold in February 2013.
Well, I'm saying in February 2013, you assessed my house at $402,000.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason that's pertinent is that this year you tacked on inflation to that.
Yeah.
See, it was
Okay.
402,000 was
For
your
2013.
assessment
Once
for
again,
2013.
I-
And I'm
I have-
saying you were way off then,
I'm-
and now you're at, it's just like you have a budget
Hold
in your
on.
house, and you add up the numbers and they come out wrong, and so the next year you add on an extra to the wrong number. I mean,
Pardon me, but one of the things is we didn't look back more than 6 months at sales, because all I have in front of me is 2014. How and what data was used for 2013, to be honest with you, I don't know.
No, but
Okay?
well,
Okay, now, so this was from 2013. These, do you have dates, and I can look them up for you, but you also mentioned 717 Muirfield, 1916 Whitehall, and 1931 not Whitehall, but you have no dates.
Well, the thing
and you
is, I
have no-
don't
And you have no prices.
no, I didn't, that's not the idea. The
Oh.
idea of that was to show when somebody gets their house ready to sell it, they put a lot of money into it. They
Okay,
put
so
in
do
dual
these,
pane windows, they put in granite countertops, they put in,
I understand that. Did any of these
Fancy
houses sell?
carpeting.
Did any of these have,
every one of them sold.
do you know the dates? Because you don't have prices or dates. Are
I'm
you
not
aware of that?
comparing the prices, I'm
Oh,
only
you don't want to
showing
compare
you-
the prices?
No, all I'm
Okay.
showing you there is the fact that people fix their houses up to sell them.
Okay,
So,
I'm
most,
with
when
you.
you look at a house that sells for $50,000 more than my house, well, they probably put $50,000 into it to make it beautiful.
so your 3 comps that you're using for this hearing are all on Hudspeth, is that correct?
I'm not using them to compare them to my house. I'm showing that you can have 3 houses on the same street selling within a few weeks of each other.
And the
And-
view property sell.
and-
Oh, these are, yeah, is
And
your
two
street,
would-
okay, then begs the next question, is your street a view street?
No, but what
Okay.
I'm saying is there are houses can be right across the street from each other and be a huge difference in price because they're different. Even
Right.
though they're the same floor plan, maybe they had the same upgrades, but one of them has hardly any backyard, a steep hill, and no view. And the one across the street has a flat yard with a city view.
Okay, let me ask you
So
another
I'm just
question.
saying, you
Okay.
can't take a house in the same neighborhood and say, well, because this sold for this, yours should have too.
So
No.
you would prefer not, let me ask you a question. You would prefer that we did not use comps from your neighborhood, but went to Hudspeth Street in
No,
another neighborhood?
That's not what I'm saying.
Okay, I'm sorry, I'm confused.
No, I'm just showing that it doesn't mean that much when a house is right down the street, 1 block from each other. One sells for $100,000 more than the other.
I agree.
It's because they have basic things, and because my house is one of those that has a problem, has 2 problems. It has that flat, leaky roof, and it has that dirt driveway easement.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Is 743 North Murfield in your neighborhood?
Yes,
Okay, and it's on your street, correct?
yes.
Okay, and you might not be familiar, 743 North Greenbrier, is that also in your neighborhood?
It sounds familiar. It's probably a couple blocks away.
It's a tenth of a mile from your
Yeah,
house, that's
I
correct,
think
ma'am.
I know that, right.
And also 1724 Wexford.
Yes.
Okay. Now, those 3 comps were used by the assessor's office. I
Mm-hmm.
want to point that out. All 3 of these comps sold within, really, less than 60 days from 1/1/14.
Okay.
Okay? So they were all 3 from your neighborhood, all 3 within a tenth of a mile, all 3 within 60 days of the date we're appraising. Okay?
What upgrades did they have?
Correct. Are you familiar with any of these homes? Okay.
Now,
I will
I've never
help.
been inside them. I drive by
Fine.
them. But
If you will note, and it might be hard to see because, although on your copy, 743 North Murfield, if everyone would look, there are 2 boxes in the driveway. I happened to be an individual there when I drove by. Those are construction boxes. This home was purchased in average condition.
Is
I
this a
didn't-
question to the
No.
applicant?
Yeah,
Or-
I'm sorry, so you might note that. She asked about conditions, so that might...
I think you asked about conditions.
I did.
Okay.
Okay. So that might help you with it. They were actually working on it after sale to indicate the condition. Okay, so you weren't familiar with the condition, so...
So again, this is the time for the assessor to
Right.
ask the
I'm
applicant
sorry,
regarding
I
her
got it.
presentation, not...
You got it.
You've already given
Okay,
yours.
all right, okay. So anyway, I think And like I said, the easement business took place in 2002, correct? That was the year you bought the home,
And
correct?
that was your base year value. that
Correct.
You've judged everything, you've added everything onto that.
That's a base year value. That is correct. Thank you.
Okay, I had a quick question to the assessor. So this is your map, this is her map, the applicant's, right?
Yes.
So she's saying this is not usable?
It's very steep,
Hold on, I'm asking the assessor.
sorry.
And you're saying that this area is usable.
We're saying it's part of the lot. It's,
Is it usable? Could you put a pool there, or is it, she's saying it's slopey and...
You have a picture of the backyard. It
Yeah,
actually
I
shows
have a
that.
picture of that.
Both
can't
items-
climb up
Here we go.
It's on the green sheets.
That's a picture of their backyard. So there's a flat area, and then
This is going this way?
yeah, that's correct. That's exactly how you're looking at it. Hang on, hopefully. Does that make sense to you? That's what you're
Gotcha.
looking- okay.
Yeah, the green colored sheets there, I have a photograph that I took
I
too,
see
from
that.
the hill.
And she also took a backyard picture.
Great, so I have no other questions.
That might clarify it. That's another angle of it. Those are her pictures.
So, is this the front of the house?
it's the side of the house.
Side of the house.
The street is on your right.
Oh, like this?
Yes.
It's impossible to climb up that hill.
Oh, it is.
Our
I
backyard.
can't climb it.
Kids can't climb up it.
No, thank goodness, I finally found some gardeners who will climb it, and get the weeds and do the trimming.
Okay.
Most
So-
gardeners
so-
wouldn't even go near it.
Okay.
Very
So your breakdown of the calculations of the easement, the usable lot
The
is
shaded area.
for the shaded area,
It's for the easement.
for the easement, but you're saying it's 9,000, this is 9,000 square feet roughly,
Roughly.
and it's 14,000.
Total with the easement.
You know, when I had my house up for sale, the people would pull up in the car with the real estate man, and they'd take one look at that easement, and they wouldn't even get out of the car.
I could imagine.
And I kept saying to the real estate people, you're telling them there's a third of an acre. Don't tell them that. Tell them about the easement. Don't even bring them here. The people got mad at the real estate man. I don't blame them. Said,
Okay.
You gotta tell them before you.
Let me ask the assessor, regarding the easement is still there, correct?
Correct.
So in other words, whoever has the back property could drive up and use that. But even if they didn't have it, there would still be a utility easement, is what you're saying?
Correct.
Yes,
Okay.
always been that way.
Okay, so I'm going to close the hearing. I'm going to...
Sorry, hang on.
Close the card.
Ernest, by burden of proof rules, the assessor's office has to be allowed to give a closing statement because they have the burden of proof.
I thought
So-
they did already, so... I'm sorry, let's have a closing statement.
I'm
Thank you.
sorry I took so long. But
No worries.
But she can
I just
still-
wanted to,
If
we
they
do
would
have other
follow-
cases.
The rules say
I
that
know,
burden of
I'm
proof gets
sorry,
open and
I
closed.
have
In
to
between is all up to
apologize.
the
I didn't take
hearing
this
officer.
Okay.
So-
All right.
Okay, so to the assessor.
I'll try to be quick. We found no proof in the marketplace for, first of all, the easement is not really a burden in the sense that it hasn't been ever used, but assuming that it can be, it goes back to a 6-acre property. So it's sort of the small part of the flag, you might say, of a flag lot, except it's not exactly a flag. But having addressed that, we didn't see anything in the marketplace. I'll point out that the comps picked me, I didn't pick the comps. And they're the three closest comps to lien date. Their prices are $445, $440, $465. The adjusted values are $444, $428, and $449. And so based on data, our only conclusion is that the Prop 13 value of $406 is reasonable. Thank you.
We had an appraisal done.
Okay, and so, I'm going to give you a time for your closing
Oh,
statement
okay.
now. So go ahead.
We had an appraisal done in 2012 because I redid my mortgage to get a lower interest rate. And the appraisal from this man, 32 pages, pictures, photographs, comps and everything, a licensed appraiser, $320,000. And they had me up to almost $400,000.
When was that appraisal?
2012, January of 2012.
Okay.
And I came back and asked for a lower, and they did lower it to 340. And the following year, I asked for a lower, and they did lower it to 340. And this year, now they're coming in here again.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, and I
Thank you
have
very
to
much.
apologize again that I took so much time.
Very good.
Thanks a lot.
So again, I'm gonna hear all the cases and then come up with my decision and give it to the clerk, so you can contact the clerk by afternoon, Brendan?
Late afternoon.
Oh, late afternoon.
After this, I still have to take lunch before we
And they have everybody has your number, correct?
Right, they have my number. I've been in constant contact with them, so they're good.
Okay,
Thank you so much again.
Yes. I'm sorry
Okay.
again. Sorry.
So just before we go on to the next one, I want to make sure everyone that's going to present today, you need to have 3 copies of whatever you're going to present. So if anyone doesn't have 3 copies, you can go next door to our office and ask our receptionist to make copies for you. And if anyone doesn't want to sit here the whole time, I can take your cell phone number and give you a call up about the hearing before you. So if anyone wants to go walk around, let me know right now, and I'll take your number down. Otherwise, you're welcome to sit here until we get to you.
And there is a cafeteria.
Everybody knows their order. So next one will be Larson, and then Wilner, Bay, and then Singh. Okay. And you can kind of walk and come and go.
I got your number in my book.
Oh, thank you.
4549. That's an 805.
Before the next hearing?
No, yeah, I'll be back in about 10 minutes. Have a seat.
Okay.
Okay. So that apparently leads us to Paul Larson, which is item number 11, application 1410024.
Okay.
Is that correct? Okay, well, I'm going to get a quick overview from the assessor, if you would.
Kent Meyer, Ventura County Assessor's Office. This property is located in Ventura at 106 Stevens Circle. The APN is 902-0-150-660.
Thank you.
It's a manufactured home in a manufactured home park or mobile home park, and it's owner occupied, therefore the assessor will have burden of proof on this.
Okie dokie. So that means the assessor goes first, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
So this is a supplemental assessment appeal based on the purchase of the manufactured home. It was purchased on November 5th, 2013, and the roll values and supplemental values were $188,400 for improvement only. Mr. Larson does not own the land that the manufactured home is on.
Okay.
Current owner is Colin Penny Larson, and the supplemental value notice went out March 24, 2014. It was billed on June 16th, and the date of application was July 17th. Calls into question validity on this one, but we didn't challenge it.
Hold on. Oh, where? I show 619.
Bill date.
Oh. I don't even have a copy in here. Yeah, 61614. That's not good. Are you?
I won't challenge it.
Okay, because we can do an affidavit right now if we need to.
Okay. On page 4, summary, the subject property located at 106 Stevens Circle, Ventura, in a mobile home park commonly known as Lemonwood, located at the northeast corner of the intersection of Telephone Road and Johnson Drive, and zone MHP, which is mobile home park. On November 5th, 2013, per the California Department of Housing and Community Development, the purchase price that Mr. Larson paid for this manufactured home was $188,402.69. To value these, we fall under the same category as full cash value of a purchase. The assessment and taxation of manufactured homes are covered under the California Revenue and Taxation Code Division 1, Part 13. Code sections are 58 through 5842. And referred to as the manufactured home property tax law. The assessor's office determines the full value of the manufactured home pursuant to Revenue and Taxation Code Section 5803A, which states full cash value means the full cash value or the fair market value is determined pursuant to Section 110 of a manufactured home similarly equipped and installed, including any value attributable to a manufactured home accessory building or structure as defined in Section 18008.5 of the Health and Safety Code, which is sold along with the manufactured home, giving recognition, however, to the exception provided in subdivision M, section 3 of Article 13. So what we did was, we received on page 6, the dealer report of sale or lease that goes to the state of California. Directly under the heading, under dealer report, the original sale lease price is $188,402.69. This was as of 11/5/2013, and it describes what the mobile home park, or what the manufactured home is, as far as model is concerned. The next page is the buyer's manufactured home closing statement, which shows the proceeds due seller, including cash equivalency. This has a total sales price of $189,332.94. Then following are the tax law guides that we relied on. So in essence, we enrolled $188,400, which is his sales price rounded. I have no further statements.
Okay. To the applicant, did you have any questions to the assessor regarding his presentation?
No,
Okay.
basically it's a rehash of what this page here is, which is a manufactured home purchase order and federal disclosure statement, which is what Macy Homes came up with.
Okay. So if you go ahead with your presentation when you're ready.
Our only concern with what Macy Homes came up with is that they're showing on their statement the total manufactured home and accessories cost. That's the accessories, which are the new concrete, all the stuff that they did to the outside of the home. The accessories were $30,143, and the total cost for the home would have been $134,152. And those two put together come up with $164,296, $164,296. The seller's agent told us when we were going over this at the close of escrow, the afternoon of the closing of escrow, he said we had to add some costs to it to make it look like you're making a down payment. We didn't make a down payment. And he said that's where you'll see under sales tax, foundation system, these are costs that we incurred to take out the old mobile home. We bought a mobile home for $115,000. Then Macy Homes came in, took it apart, and hauled it away. And they charged us for that, which came to their delivery and setup was the cost of taking the mobile home out. But they added that to the total manufactured home and accessories price to make it look like we were paying $188,000 so that we could get a $156,000 loan.
Gotcha.
I don't know why they had to do that. We have perfect credit. That was something that both my wife and I looked at each other and wondered why, and that was something that they knew about, we didn't know about. They got the loan done, and they got the amount. They knew how much money they wanted or needed to sell the home, so that's what the loan was for. And all this other stuff was to get to that point. So that was one of the things that we did not agree with, because another thing that the manufacturer's representative told us was because we've never been involved in taxes on a modular home. We've always had real property. And Mr. Baptiste said, your taxes are going to be based upon the figure that is the total manufactured home and accessories, which is $164,296. And we said, okay, well, how much is that in taxes? And he said, it's 1% of that. I said, okay. And then he said, but in the coming years, this is going to be reduced drastically because your modular home is going to decrease in value, unlike a real property home, which increases in value. Okay. So we said, okay, and we said, how much? He said, well, I don't have any idea. He said, it's just, you're going to notice a sizable decrease each year after the first year. That's what I did want to ask that question, whether or not that's true. We can do that in a minute. In going through the total accessories, I did find one area where they charged us for a 12 by 50 foot car cover, patio cover. It's what goes next to the home, and you park your cars under it, for lack of a better term, we call it that. Well, they charged us for 12 by 50, but it is only 12 by 35. So they overcharged us by $1,452. Now, I understand $1,452 in the whole picture doesn't mean very much, but they did make that error. We don't know with all these other things. We just have to take it at face value that the cinder block skirting was $11,500, and we're not disputing that at all. That's nothing we can. Well, we don't even care about disputing it because we liked what the job they did, and we were perfectly satisfied. So it was not until we got the actual assessed value notice that I took a look at how it compared to the manufactured home purchase order. And I took the manufactured home purchase order at $164,296 to be what the assessed value was going to be, and obviously it's different. So I put in for the assessed value. Oh, and in addition, in talking with the gal here in the office, she was very helpful. She said, did you buy the modular home with refrigerator, dishwasher, and stove? And I said, yes. And she said, well, those items should not be included in the total manufactured home and accessories figure. And she said, how much were they worth? And I said, it wasn't. One thing that Macy Homes did after we had made a deposit on the house and it was going to be sold, they took there was a like on a car, on the window of a car.
Gotcha.
The sticker price. Mm-hmm. They took that and they were gone with it.
Right.
We said, can we have that back? And they said, no, that's been destroyed.
Okay, so let me
Go ahead.
crown you. Okay, I got that. You have a value and they have a value.
There we
too.
go.
Gotcha.
There we go.
Okay, anything else?
If I talked to Macy Homes and they said you could use $1,995 for the what you paid for the refrigerator, dishwasher, and stove. I don't know where they came up with that, but it was just something that they pulled out of the air. So that was in my letter to you all, taking the 1995 off and the 35 by 12 carport, it comes out to an assessed value of $160,849. And if I can just ask a quick question, the tax is 1%, is that right?
According to the Revenue and Taxation Code, all property is taxed at the rate of 1%, plus bond measures associated with the property. So there could be special assessments, but but your typical tax is 1%.
Because 181.4 doesn't work out to tax of
May I see the
948.
bill really quick?
This,
The bill.
yeah, sure.
Also, what's it called?
It's probably got some other thing.
Also, voter indebtedness. Voters in your district for anything can sometimes vote for like school bonds or street lights.
Right here, the very first tax is 1%, and then there's various municipal bonds that are attached to it also.
Okay. Anything else before?
No.
Okay.
No,
So I
no.
want to have the assessor ask you any questions about
Sure.
your presentation and see what the discrepancy is to the assessor.
I'm looking at, hi, Mr. Larson, how are you?
I'm good.
The manufactured home purchase order that you supplied here. You said there was no down payment, but I'm looking at this allowance on trade-in of $32,000. Did you trade in a previously owned manufactured home or mobile
That's
home?
just something that when we asked them, they said, we must increase the value, so we're going to show that you gave a trade-in. And what they did was they used the home that we bought. We had to buy one, take it out so that we could use that space.
So you did purchase a pre-existing mobile home
Right.
on that lot?
For $115,000.
And then traded it in?
It was.
Macy
as
Homes
you
took
know.
it off the lot.
Yeah, they
Did you
tore
get
it
any-
apart, took it off the lot and moved it to, we think, Mexico.
Okay, but you owned that at the time?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's kind of what I'm asking. It appears to me as though they went ahead and considered that a trade-in, because they might have sold it someplace else.
Yeah, they said we're going to show it as a trade-in because they had to satisfy their lender.
Okay. I have no further questions.
Okay, to the assessor, so you're getting to trade-in, what would be the trade-in value?
I don't know what kind of model it was that he traded in, so I can't answer that question.
Sure. Is there any kind of trade-in value thrown out?
No. That's one of the things that it's kind of a, if you ask the question, you're almost told that's something you don't want to know about.
Okay.
Because it always seemed to me, I gave somebody $115,000 for this thing, and now it's gone.
Well,
it was there yesterday. Now it's gone. Where the hell did it go?
The way I'm looking at all the documentation is, he paid the 180 or 150 something plus a trade-in, which is a consideration to the seller. So his full purchase price was the 188,400 or 600, 400, as far as consideration to the seller.
That would have been a concession.
Yes. But
Consideration to the seller, but aren't we assessed on what the property is actually worth to us?
no, it's what market value is, and because the market, it was sold from a dealer basically. So the value at that time, when you purchased it, was $188,400, which is what the sales price was in the escrow statements and the reported sales price to the California State.
Surely that's the point of contention. Yes, that is
So
absolutely.
do you have any
the point.
documentation that would show that?
I asked Macy Homes, going through this because the seller's agent is no longer there. And they have a new fellow, and I went through this with him, and he said, I assume that everything that Paul told you, you have in writing. And I said, I didn't think I needed to have him write it out, what he was saying. And he said, well, then I can't help you. you got everything up. You have everything you're going to get from us.
See, a manufactured home is similar to a car dealership.
Oh, I understand that.
You know, if you're going to pay $20,000 for a car, well, in today's market, probably closer to $60,000 for a brand new car, and you have a car that you're going to trade in for $12,000, you're still paying $60,000 for the new car, but you're getting a consideration, or, well, you're basically getting part of the total payment reduced because of the trade-in. But it doesn't subtract from the actual sales price of the vehicle.
All right, so looks like closing arguments, closing statements,
I don't have.
summary? Okay, to the
Well,
assessor?
Yeah, the assessor's office appraised the manufactured home based on the laws of California and enrolled the sales price as fair market value for the supplemental purposes.
Okay. All right, great. So I'm gonna, a lot of stuff here I want to look at, especially the bill. So I'll make my decision after the last hearing. You can contact Brendan in a few hours or
Yeah.
before 5 p.m. because there's lunch.
There's no rush.
Thank you so much.
Just one quick question.
Yeah.
Because is it true that the value of the home, in other words, the assessed value will go down on an annual basis?
On a manufactured home that is not on the owner's lot, i.e. you're not on it, you don't own the land that
We
you're
rent
on.
the land.
Right.
Yeah.
What we do is it's treated with a depreciation factor. We actually look at guides for manufactured homes on an annual basis and see if the value has gone up or down. Typically, they do go down. They depreciate over time. So we enroll the depreciated value over time.
Is that done on a, like,
Annual
the
basis.
very first year after it's purchased, and then each year
Yeah,
after that?
the first year after you buy it, it's going to go in at your sales price. After that, we'll review it every year.
Is the depreciation more in the first years when he buys it?
I've not done it, so I can't answer that question.
Okay.
And not to confuse you, you're not under Prop 13.
Actually, he is.
Is he?
Yes, manufactured homes have Prop 13 value also.
They do?
Yeah.
Didn't know that. I beg your pardon. I just learned something.
Yeah. But what ends up happening is we put them on a decline in value. But their
Okay.
factor value will always go up. And if they happen to sell and it's higher than their Prop 13 value, then we'll enroll the new value to
Gotcha.
the new buyer.
Very nice. Thank you so much.
But we'll hear about that.
Yes.
Didn't know that.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Our next hearing is Mr. Sidney Wilner. Good morning. Thank you for being patient.
Good morning, Mr. Curtis.
All right. Let's see. I want to get a brief overview from the assessor.
Thank you. Rick Denham, once again, from the Assessor's Office. Thank you, Mr. Curtis. This is residential property in the sort of the greater Wood Ranch area, Simi Valley. The property was purchased on 8/29/2001 for $235,000. Its current factored base year value, or AKA the Prop 13 value, is $283,190. The roll value is also the Prop 13 value of $283,190, and the recommended value by the Assessor's Office is the Prop 13 value of $283,190. So this is a declining value 1114 appeal, and sort of speaks for itself. So we are defending, as it were, the recommending a sustain of the Prop 13 value, once again, kind of similar to the first case. Okay?
Okey doke. And the burden of proof?
Oh, you live in the property, right, sir? Yeah, it's definitely on the assessor's office.
My wife and I.
So very nice. So
Very
the
good.
assessor will go first with their presentation.
Yeah.
Okay, may I just
No, not
get-
yet, not yet.
I'm sorry.
Hang on to those.
And they
You
look
didn't want to
good.
show your
Okay.
hand until.
Yeah, keep it coming.
Okay.
There we go.
I'm familiar with how we do it.
Yeah, and go to this page if you would, sir.
Okay.
This is where and that's what I'll be speaking of. Along the little pitch. That's very good. Okay,
Mr. Nim, do you have a copy for the clerk?
we do.
No. Okay, thank you.
All three comparables are from the subject neighborhood, and they are comparables 1 and 2. I put the most weight on simply because they're model matches. And when I looked future and back the prior year, these were the three sales. It's a small area, and so there's not necessarily, I only chose sales from the subject.
Tract.
Yeah, tract. And,
These are attached homes,
correct. I think they're detached, weren't they, when I looked? Or attached? I'm mixing up my deals today. Yeah, 4 in a day. Okay. Attached townhome style properties. Anyway, so those are my 3 comparables. The first 2, like I said, are model matches. The third one is from the same track. It's a little bit bigger. I did put the most emphasis on comps 1 and 2, and that's what I had. It's fairly simple. On the map, it's roughly it's kind of split right on the page where it's split, but that'll help you. That's Simi Valley. That's a Thomas Guide.
What year?
God knows.
They still make Thomas Guide?
I don't know, because mine is, I don't know how many.
Oh, it's right next to the park there.
Right across from the park.
Yeah, I went through the park to get there. I got confused, and I made a stop at the park. And here's the comparable sales. So they're, as you can see, relatively close by. I couldn't, but a person with a strong arm could probably hit all 3 comps with a rock. So fairly close by. And frankly, that's the gist of our case, and that's it.
Your turn.
Let me give you.
Does he want to ask questions?
Did you have any questions regarding
Well,
that
I'd like
presentation?
to bring some information to you that you didn't hear from
Okay,
this
so you
gentleman.
can give your presentation.
First of all, this is a condo complex. There's approximately 90 homes in it. There are only 2 styles of homes. There's a lower and an upper. The lower is 1,200 square feet. The upper is about 1,500. And basically, every home in the complex is identical layout. But when you walk into the interior, you may see people have made adjustments to cabinets, may have put in new carpeting, any number of things. So just by looking at the exterior of a home, since they're all alike, and say that because this home sold for this price, therefore your home would be a comparable price, it's not a valid appraisal. The other thing I'd like to mention, we've been there for about 14 years. When we moved in, this was primarily senior citizens. I put my age on there so you understand that we'll be there till
I wouldn't have guessed
till
this,
they
though.
carry us out. Yeah.
You're 86?
I'm going to be 86 very shortly.
You're a young 86.
I wish I looked as good as him.
Thank you. In any event, this is our last home. There were practically no sales in there when we first came, but people have died off, and for whatever reason, when the prices went down, speculators came in, started buying them and flipping them, et cetera, and suddenly the prices seemed to go up. During the height of when prices were crazy, about 5-6 years ago, a home 2 doors from us sold for $500,000. It wasn't any different than the home we had. I'm sure today it's probably dropped to at least a third of its of the price. People come in sometimes temporarily. They work for a company. The company buys their home. They put them in. A year later, they're gone. Anyway, suddenly there was a movement in properties, and it appears that prices seem to go up. What I'd like to point out to you, though, in all the time we've been there has never been a variance of more than roughly 2 or 3% up or down. Even in the height, when this crazy property sold for $500,000, it was about maybe we got a 3% raise. So I gave you a 3-year comparison. Last year, the property went up 3.78%. This year, I get an appraised value, it went up 18.99%. And like I said, I'm appealing to your sense of fairness and your conscience. There is no way that I should be suddenly, this is the highest price, highest taxation that my condo has ever had. In all the 14 years, with the highs and the lows, suddenly it jumps almost 19%.
Got it. So that's the crux of the matter, correct?
Absolutely.
Okay.
It's, and again, as I point out to you, the reason you're seeing some of these, well, people are coming in and speculating with these, which is what happened years ago. That what started all this Prop 13 thing. People were driven out of their homes because speculators were raising prices, flipping it, and suddenly you couldn't afford the taxes anymore.
That's why we had Prop 13.
That's why we have it. We're living primarily on our Social Security and with small savings we have for the rest of our lives in this condo. This is only a $420 increase. It may not seem like a ton of money to people that are working. I'm no longer employed, and it's a lot of money to me. And to be raised that much when it's never happened in prior years, I think it's unfair and it's unconscionable. Just, and you know, I look at this list. There's some guy here, let's say he owns 30 properties. Has he been raised 19%? I don't think so.
Okay, well, let me, I got it.
You got it.
Let's get a explanation from the assessor regarding the 19%. How's that?
Okay.
Let me explain how that works first. You purchased the home back in 2001.
Yes.
And you paid $235,000.
Correct.
Under California revenue taxation law, the assessed value gets set at that time, and we enrolled your purchase price as your base value.
Can I interrupt for a moment? I didn't realize that I think I was, I could have had, there was some kind of thing where I could have taken the property I sold. I sold a condo in Van Nuys. We moved to Simi Valley. We sold it considerably less than what we paid for this one. I understand now that I probably could have taken that price and put it on that, and I was
If you
unaware
purchased a
of it.
home for no more than 5% more than what you sold the old home for.
We
You
sold
said
our home for
considerable.
$180,000 in Van Nuys.
Yeah.
We purchased this one for $235,000, and it needed interior work. We put in
That's
another.
over 5%.
That's over 5%,
Yeah.
so you would not have qualified for that transfer of value.
Oh, okay.
But at any rate, we are required to set a new base value whenever there's a change of ownership. And once we establish that base value, the assessed value cannot increase by more than 2% or on the base value per year.
Okay.
So all the while you own your home, that base value will increase by maximum 2% per year.
And that's what's happened over the years.
Then we also have section 51A2, which says that if the market conditions of your home decline, so you can't sell it for your factored base value, then we are required to enroll the lesser of the two. And once we do that, we have to review the property annually and see what the market is doing. And if the market goes down farther, we have to reduce your value farther. If the market starts increasing, we have to increase it. But we can never increase it beyond your total factored base value. So your factored base value, all the while you're on that temporary decline in value, your factored base value is still going up. And there's no limit to the percent that we can increase your assessed value once you're on that temporary decline. There's no limit to the percentage that we can increase it as long as we do not go above the factored base value. So technically, what I'm looking at on our comp sheet is the values of the homes in your neighborhood are closer to a value of $360,000. But we're only assessing you at $283 because that's your factored base year value, and we cannot go up to that $360,000.
But can you explain why it, like I say, since 2001, it's never varied more than 2 or 3% up or down?
Because that's
and suddenly there's a jump of 19%. Explain that.
Because from 2001 to...
Why is there a difference between
Let me ask you,
2013 to 2014?
Yeah, exactly. 2013, 2014. Do you guys happen to have, those little nice charts? You
I'll
hand-
grab one.
Okay, perfect. Remember the charts?
Yes.
Okay.
It appears to me that in
Is that
2013...
is that what
It sure looks that way to me, based on what he's showing us, that the market value as of 1/1/2013 was about $238,000. But the market value 1/1/2014 was much closer to $360,000?
Yes.
I mean, the market increased that much.
And the fact that I'm pointing out that there are people coming in, flipping, buying for spec and flipping it, artificially raising prices. We're sitting there, we're stuck. We'll be there for the remainder of our lives.
Well, they're flipping properties all across the country, so it's just not.
But you understand how unfair this is. That's why it drove people out of their homes. I mean, we're on a fixed income.
See, what you have there is a graph. the blue line represents a factored base value of a property. The red line would show what the market is doing. So that factored base value, the blue line, will never increase by more than 2% per year. That red line will follow what the market is doing, and that will be the maximum value that we can enroll as far as market is concerned. Whenever the red line is above the blue line, we must enroll that blue line. Whenever the red line is below the blue line, we enroll the red line.
Okay, you're quoting me facts and figures, and this is an appeals board. I'm appealing, as I said, to your sense of fairness and your conscience. If your mom was sitting in this house and they were raising taxes, and our condo fees go up, our Social Security remains the same. We got a 1% increase. So that's why I'm appealing to you, not based on numbers, but I thought, when I looked at this, and I said, how can that go up 19%? It's never done that since 2001, since we've been there. And I don't know, I don't understand what you're saying here, but
Mr. Wilner, what?
I know you're following certain guidelines, but you also have the ability, I'm sure, to make, when someone presents a case that seems unfair, you can make some determination. I'm hoping you can anyway.
Mr. Wilner, the assessor is required to administer the law as it is written. So that's what we're doing here, and we take oaths that we're going to uphold the standards of the law.
So,
Mr. Curtis has also taken an oath to uphold the standards of the laws of California.
I understand.
So we have to do things according to what the law says.
So apparently that you weren't following the law in prior years, because there have been increases far in excess of what they are now. As I said, my condo was, a similar one was sold 2 doors away for $500,000 several years ago. And then the market plummeted, but it sold for $500,000. I didn't see the property, I didn't see my taxes go up to that extent. May have gone up 3%.
That's because your purchase price of $235 plus 2% every year adds up to $280,000, and that's the maximum we can assess you for.
And in those years...
Now, when your neighbor purchased a home for $500,000, if it was fair market value, that established his base value, so his $500,000 will increase by 2% per year.
And the reason yours only went up 2% when your neighbor was at $500,000 is you were under Prop 13. No. So you've always been under Prop 13, ma'am, from the first day. You might not have been aware of that, and it's confusing. But the reason before, when, let's say you were at, I'm guessing, but say you were at 225 6 or 7 years ago, the reason we didn't jump it anymore is by law, it was only going to go up 2% regardless of what the market value was, okay? The reason we stopped at $283,190, even though homes in your neighborhood are clearly worth $360, is by law, we must enroll the Prop 13 value or the fair market value, whichever is lower. In your case, your Prop 13 value is lower, so we are not going to enroll you at $360. We're going to stop exactly at $283,190. And that's 2% at the most. Like, for instance, in 2015, it's going to be below 2%. And that's dictated also by the state, and that's what we enroll. And in this case, a couple things that I would say. I'm an old-time appraiser. There's usually not a lot of sales in your neighborhood, direct neighborhood. In this case, there was 3. I was shocked to find them. Because it's usually like one person a year, and not 3.
People are starting to spec. If the home is up for sale, they buy it and they flip it. And
once again, it's unusual that there were 3 sales in 2013, and these three sales, to be honest with you, kind of glommed right together. It's just the raw price range is from $355 to $380. That's what the current people are paying for the properties, regardless if they're homeowners living there, if they're speculators, if they're getting a home for mom and they live in New York and they just want mom to have a home in California. All those people are the buyers, and they bought within a kind of a pretty tight range for Ventura County because it floats. And based upon the fact that your house was worth $360 on 1/1/14, we took you to the Prop 13 value of $283,190. And I should point out that although I appraised your house, 2 different words here, for $360, I'm only recommending the assessed value for 2 reasons. of 283,190, and the main reason is that's the law. So that's why I'm pointing to that number.
You
If that helps
realize,
you.
though, that there's variance. The upper condo is 300 square feet larger than the lower condo. That's why they get more money.
Absolutely, and in my data, it shows that. It shows exactly what you're saying.
You know what? Okay, I've got all the information I need. What I'd like to hear is a summary statement.
The Ventura County Assessor's Office appraised this property under Revenue and Taxation Code Section 51A. We did it appropriately. Mr. Wilner has not presented any evidence that the value on the roll is different than market value or the factored base year value. He did not provide any comparables to show any other value than what's on the roll.
Okay. And
My final statement is that in 2013, my tax went up by 3.78. In 2014, it went up by 18.99%. No one has explained this adequately to me. I mean, you're quoting me facts and figures. You haven't said why it went up 19%. Again, I think it's unfair, it's unconscionable, it's what drives people out of their homes. There's, some guy here that owns 50 properties, like I say, I know he wasn't bumped 18.99%. But we own one piece of property, we're there for the remainder of our lives, and we're being pushed out of this thing. If the taxes and our homeowners keep going up, we'll probably be forced to sell and we'll live in an apartment or something. I think it's unfair. This is an appeals board. I don't know whether you're bound to do what you say or you have the ability to, some discretionary ability to change some of these things. Anyway, I made my case.
all right, thank you very much. Thank you. And again, after the other hearings, I'm going to make my decision and let Brendan know it should be this afternoon.
Okay, can I have your credit?
Here you go.
Okay, thanks for your...
Very good, thank you. Okay. Let's see, next up, Mr. Bay?
Yeah.
Hello. Thank you for being patient. And to the assessor, could you give us a brief overview?
Pardon me, sir. Due to the fact that his phone didn't work, I have a couple questions from him because I was never.
Mr. Bay?
Yes,
Yeah.
I was never able to communicate him till this day. Okay.
Yeah, phone was changed.
Okay, and I apologize. I would have liked to have counseled you before you got to the hearing to better prepare you. Do you live in your home, sir?
Yeah.
Okay, just wanted to establish that. Burden of proof will be on the assessor's office. Thank you. I just had to confirm that. I felt that, but I wasn't aware. Let me make sure I have the...
Okay, burden of proof is on the assessor. Could you give us a brief overview of what we got?
Give that to Brendan.
Need the cover sheet with me.
The one,
It's on the back.
it's on the back. Yeah, I knew it was there. Yeah. And I'm, just for a sec, okay, and there you go. This is a single-family residence located in Oxnard, California. And it's on a golf course is probably its distinct feature. Okay. This is a decline in value. Prop 13, it's not Prop 13, I'm sorry. It's under Prop 8, 1114 assessment. The factored base year value, I'm sorry, it was purchased 10/31/07 for $690,000. So the factored base year value is $739,334. The assessor's office, through its comparables, indicated that the factored base year value was higher than the market value. So we enrolled the property at $668,000 based on comparables. And that's the roll value for 1114. It is also the recommended value for this hearing. At the time of the application, the applicant indicated his home was worth $609,000. So that's the gist of our case here. If you would please turn to this page.
Yeah.
Okay. I used 4 comparable sales. they're all relatively close by, within 0.7 of a mile of each other. Two of the comps are from the subject's immediate neighborhood. However, they do not back a golf course. The two other comps are from the adjacent neighborhood, and they absolutely back a golf course. And so comps, the two Dove Canyons, which are comps 3 and 4, as you can see in the picture there, back a golf course. I also included from the MLS, because obviously I had no contact with the applicant, a picture of his backyard view of the golf course as taken from the MLS. That was approximately the time he probably purchased it back in those days. So, and to be honest with you, I relied more on the golf course backing comps than the other ones because obviously the location and all that kind of stuff would be different. And also the square footages of the golf course homes are more similar to the subject. And on that basis, my sales data supports our $668,000 based on what golf course homes have been selling for. So that's kind of where I'm at. And so we're recommending to sustain the value.
Thank you. Did you have any questions regarding the presentation?
No.
Okay. Did you have any information you would like to hand out? Presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
And just to be clear, you think your property is worth 609?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead.
And last year we have only 2 comp in that area, same model homes. One was we sold 735,000, and it's a bigger, lot bigger yard, and a lot of improvement in the inside and out. And this one, the lot was about 3 times bigger than mine. And the second one is, excuse me, they sold last year 599,000, and they reduced from 629,000, and it's a two property in between. There is quite a bit of the distance in price, because first one, it was a great big lot and a lot of trees, and there's like a park-like situations. And the buyer, he was in the out of state, like Victoria State, don't know the area, and also he fall in love in the house, and especially backyard, and he willing to pay the rich premium. And the second, and he sold the 599. It's similar to my house, but inside out more improved than my house. And my house is we paid the 690. It's a very high price, 2007, and since that, we bought the Bank of America, and as is condition. Since then, no improvement. It's really deteriorated. I believe it's quite a bit of improvement and replacement needed, and that's why. And the 609,000 came out from the last year stipulated value 580,000 plus 5% increase. That figure comes out to 609,000. And also, this is we have some value in the golf course view, but still in the this one is very much a fair value because my house condition, and everything is original, more than 20 years, and even carpet is the same original, 20 years. All has to be replaced. And also, this since last year, 580,000, it's 668,000 is about 15% increase. The market value is somewhat increased, but that cannot justify the 15% increase. And that's why we appeal. Also, we have we both has a set income in the retired, and we have both has a cancer in the surgery, and we have a lot of medical costs, and it's quite a bit of money to we can afford. That's all I can. Thank you.
Okay. So again, maybe it sounds a little similar to the last one because you have a 15% increase.
Yeah.
Okay, did you have any questions to the applicant?
I do. You're speaking about this house, for instance, on 19. When did that sell, sir?
Last May.
Last May 2014?
Yeah.
Okay. And then I notice in your other data you have marked in yellow.
Yeah.
The date of sale is 9/3/14. Is that correct?
What time? What? Oh, that is the other one, 599,000.
The sales date is what
Yeah,
we're at.
this 599,000 is
And what's the sales?
September 3rd, yeah.
Of 14?
Yeah.
Thank you. And then I notice you have one at the bottom at 1930 Cascade Court,
Yeah.
and that sold 5/22/14. Is that
Yes,
correct?
correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you wanna-
Mr. Bay, again, our regrets that we were not able to talk to you in advance. Your 2014 valuation is based on January 1st, 2014.
Okay.
We are not allowed to input any evidence that would show what the value is more than 90 days after January 1st.
Okay.
So we have to use transfers that occurred prior to March 30th of 2014.
I see.
Every single one of your comps comes after that date.
I see.
So they're really not evidentiary for January 1st, 2014. Do you have any comparables to indicate what the value was as of January 1st, 2014?
Well, I cannot find any comp in that area, same house last year. This is only we can find the information. And the last year, those sales, except a clip of house about more than a year ago.
I have no clue.
In that area, last year, like September to this time, only 2 houses sit. So
I have no further questions.
Okay, so I had a question regarding to the clerk. Did Mr. Bay get the little pamphlet regarding
yes, you should
the?
have received this. Did you receive this yellow pamphlet with your notice of hearing?
yeah,
Right.
I did.
Okay. So it should have. Let's see. And you wanted me to point out the section about the 90. Okay, right there. So there's a section there of what they're talking about.
90 days rules, okay.
Okay, so I guess I'd like to hear a summary.
Thank you. Quick summary, we used comparables from the time period, and including 2 that back to golf course, which we think are the most similar, and we believe that the enrolled value of 668 should be sustained. Thank you.
Okay. Any more information or a quick summary?
I couldn't prepare the comparable 90 days different because we can't find any houses same model, but based on last year's roll is 580,000, and the price is somewhat in the increase. I understand, but 15% is not acceptable.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, so I'm going to look at this, look at the numbers again, and then I'll come up with a decision and let Brendan know. So maybe call him later.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a nice day. Okay. Thank you again for being patient.
Please, thank you, sir.
You live in your house, do you not, sir? Yeah, okay. Thank you. Quick overview, this is a...
Just to clarify for the record, we're on item number 43.
I'm sorry, it's item number 43. It's application 1410380. Last name is Singh, right?
Hang on just a second, I gotta look something up for you. I'm gonna be totally correct here. Apologize for the delay.
Oh, I haven't given Mr. Curtis this application yet. There's that for you.
Okay. So that would be whenever you're ready.
I'm sorry, yeah, I just wanted to make sure I was, I showed you. This is a, I'm sorry. The subject was purchased 6/18/09 for $912,000. The factored base year is $958,048. The roll value is also $958,000 roll value, and we are recommending the Prop 13 value of $958,048.
The applicant's opinion of value is 862.
At the time of his application, correct. All right. The property address, we're gonna, did I give you a, sorry about that.
Thank you.
I'm a bad person. Did
I'll take one.
Did you?
All right. I will.
Yeah. you can have it.
Everybody's some evidence.
Okay. I'm new to this, so thank you very much for bearing with me.
Appraisals are getting lighter and lighter, I've noticed.
Yeah, it's not good. The property is 5309 Via Pizza. Depending on your GPS or mail, it'll say Thousand Oaks, but it's really Newberry Park, and it's in Dos Vientos, to be precise. Okay. So just wanted to reconfirm that, because depending on sources, sometimes it comes out differently for Dos Vientos. The three comparables I used were it. Those are the three that I had during the time period, so it's not magic on my part. The first comparable I did give most weight for, simply because it is a model match to the subject. And it sold 11/21/13 for $1,058,000. The other two comparables sold earlier in the year, 2013, and they're I believe the next model down. They're I think a couple hundred feet, or less than a couple hundred feet, like 150 feet different. They sold respectively for $987,000 and $1,085,000. And on the basis of those three comparables from the subject neighborhood, including the model match, I concluded a value of probably $1 million. But I don't want that to be confusing, because the Prop 13 value is $958,000 and I believe that's the correct enroll value that should be sustained, and that's our case.
Okay, did you have any questions regarding the appraisal? Okay. So whenever you would like to.
I have 10 copies here in case you...
Oh, good. I'll give everybody one.
Thank you. You asked for 10? 9? Okay, thank you. So, Mike, this is a summary of my assessment, and I can go through this briefly. In some ways, they may look comparable, but they're probably not the right comparison. The main issue here is that, as you can see in this picture, there are power lines that are on this, and that power lines dramatically reduce the property value. So
Sure, could you show me, maybe mark where the power lines are?
this is where these are the power lines
Yes.
go like this. Sorry, go like this over here. They go like this.
Over there.
So they are very visible from these houses, but they are not visible from this side.
Gotcha, so
So
they're not
this-
right in back of your property?
Exactly. So this number 2 that is shown here is actually, is not, there's no visibility there. So houses on this side sell well. Also the Via Ricardo that is shown here is over here. This is the Via Ricardo. So the houses on this side have absolutely no view of the power lines. So over here, these houses actually have the one of the worst views on those lines.
So it's a stigma related to your location
Exactly.
regarding
Yes.
the power line.
Absolutely. So if you look at the comparisons that I draw, I have multiple homes there that I pulled. These do not have a view of power lines. None of those include that, but I wanted to show the comparison. The first column shows the property address. The second column describes the property type. Our property has, as you can see, it's similar in the square feet. However, the lot size that we have is a hill. Most of it is unusable. The second key thing is we do not have a pool or anything like that. There's no room for a pool. And then these are up higher end homes, and pool has a big value in those homes. So a home without a pool substantially gets marked out. And there's no way to build a pool there because of this hill. The homes that you see in the value, that's column number 4. Those were the prices that were sold at. And then the column 5 and 6 I'm showing another price date and the sold date, and the 7th and 8th are another dates. What I did with that is an estimated the price as a, if you were to take those data points and extrapolate the prices, I did a calculation. So even if I were to take a value of something like Via El Toro, which does not have a power line view, it's got a better location, and may even have a pool. For all we know, I could not find that. That would be $4,300 per month increase in price. If I were to apply that, I would get maybe a value of over $900,000 or so. All this data is back in here with whatever I could pull, but this is a summary of my case.
Okay. Okay.
Any
So, not right this second. Did the assessor have any questions?
We do. I'm noticing some of the dates of sale.
Yes.
First of all, are any of these comps from your neighborhood? Do you know?
They are all have shown the distance from the property.
No, that wasn't my question, though. Are they from your neighborhood? Because there's several neighborhoods packed in there right next
I mean,
to each other.
immediate track?
Immediate track. Okay, yeah. So as you can see,
I'm sorry. Thank you.
sorry, the ones
Neighborhood would really be like Dos Vientos.
Yeah.
right, neighborhood is Dos Vientos, and these are all from the neighborhood. The one in the below, those are gated community. Third one from the bottom, Miraflores, that is actually Palermo, and that's a very high-end community. It's very close to our home. It's a very high-end community. Our community is next to it. I don't know the exact name of that tract, but it's not gated. It's not.
Well, I have a question, because the sale dates read 8/8/14, 8/8/14, 12/3/14, 5/7/14, and 6/12/14. Is that correct? Thank you. And I noticed all of these back here are also from certainly after March 31st, 14. All of these, Mr. Curtis, I looked through them. And they're all after 3/31/14. So all of your comps are basically from 2014?
Please understand that I'm not showing comparable the way you are looking at it. What
Okay.
I'm using comparables, what I'm using actual sale dates is to assess project the value of the property at 1/1/14. That is what is calculated in the top box. So homes are sold when they are sold. Those are the dates. What I'm trying to do is estimate the value of our home based on what the trend in the market is.
So you're doing a market trend,
Market assessment.
but not really using comps from the time?
Was using these comps.
I'm using these comps which are
Right.
available.
Right.
I'm not using the comps that are not available.
Thank you.
Did you have any other questions?
No.
To the assessor, let me ask to the applicant, so you have a slope in the back, right, so you can't
Up to the
use,
back, there's no pool.
and there's no room that you could put a pool?
There's no room to put a pool.
Right. How much, what percentage of your lot do you think slopes up that you can't put a pool on that slope? What percentage?
I actually had a pool guy come in to assess it, make a pool canal. They said you'll have to cut the hill, and all of your yard will be gone. You'll have to put the pool in place of the yard. So I don't know if you can see it. May I?
So this is the property line,
Yeah.
I'm
So
assuming?
you see that slope? That all of that is the
Sure.
slope. The
So
green portion that is showing.
It's almost more than a third, it looks like.
And that's
Within
not-
that grassy area,
That's not atypical in Dos Vientos either.
right. The way our property curves, the pool can't be built there.
And as far as the power lines, they're the really tall power lines.
The really tall power
The big,
lines.
tall ones.
Yes.
Where are they located from your house?
Oh,
They're like up here.
So they can be seen throughout the neighborhood.
not necessarily. The way homes are built there, even when we sold, when we bought this home, this was one of the lowest price that we bought it at because.
But as you drive into Dos Vientos, it's those power lines that kind of in the horizon.
You actually, when you come in from Las Vegas, you can't see them. Only time you can see them
Sure,
when you're on
from-
Ricardo, and that too when you're turning into the Via Pisa. Just the way it slopes. When you go away from Dos Vientos to that Las Vegas, what's that road? The big road that runs.
Orchard?
No, the cross of Las Vegas, I think.
Yeah.
That's when you can begin to see them again towards the end of the building.
Okay.
Most of it is obscured by the homes that are built there, and the other smaller hills.
Okay. So, but they put the power lines in before you purchased the home, right?
Yes.
So, when you bought the home, you saw the power lines,
Yeah,
just
absolutely.
to make sure.
That's why it's lower price. That's why we got it from you.
Right. And so, okay. So you're saying that there's,
This home is lower priced because of the comparables that are shown. They are not really assessing the value right.
sure, okay. Well, let me go through, I have to read each of these. Let me do that, and
Okay.
to the assessor.
Closing?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
Once again, a couple of comments on the power lines. Depending on your point of view, in a given house of all three homes, they're all similarly yoked, as it were. A couple neighborhoods are. And so much so that the assessor's office, which looks for those kinds of things, has no notations on any of the houses, which would indicate that they're similarly yoked. The other reminder is that Comp 1 via Ricardo is a model match. And when I examine I only have pictometry, all of the lots, except for, oddly enough, lot number 3, seem to be similarly yoked with downslopes or upslopes, depending on where they are located. Lot 3 is more of a cul-de-sac situation. Also, the two comps on Via Pisa, which are the subject, the comp on Via Pisa number 2 and the subject back open space. Generally, we don't adjust for open space, but some people think that's a positive, but we did not adjust for that. But I did also, as part of my ending, I did examine every comp submitted by the applicant, and they were all out of date, except for one, which sold on 6/25/10, which would concern me. And I wasn't able to identify these comps from his immediate track. So and there are a lot of similar tracks, but they do sell different in Dos Vientos. So I want to go back to the assessor's comps, which did sell in the proper time period, and they did sell from the subject track. And for that reason, we would like you to sustain the current roll value of $958,048. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And did you have a summary?
Yes, I think that comp one doesn't really work. Via Ricardo, the way it's located, absolutely has a different view. These are high-end homes. View matters, location matters, everything matters. And we have a smaller home for 3,000 square feet, sell for almost $200,000 more. You can see some of those examples here. So for somebody to say that just because it has the same square feet but a very different location, that would not be reasonable.
Okay, very good. Thank you so much. I'm going to be looking through this here shortly, and you can contact Brendan after lunch, I guess,
Yeah.
for my decision.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Take care.
Very good. Thank you. Okay. So, let's see. I guess I should just close the hearing.
Yeah, you can do that, and I'll announce the decision.
I have to run to the
later.
bathroom, too,
So you want to go ahead and adjourn the meeting?
Do that during the meeting.
Okay, let's call, so that's the last item.
Yeah, time is 11:40.
We'll call it 11:40, and then I'll just come back and